regular meeting of the McCracken City Council, City Commission. Let's start with the roll call.
Norma McNair, Commissioner.
Joe Titman, Commissioner.
Brian Walker, Mayor.
Nicole Faribault, City Clerk.
Water operator Shane Turnbaugh.
All right.
And public comment would be Diana.
Diana, public comment.
Ta-da! Big grouping.
You're up first.
I just wanted to bring it attention, I was hoping there'd be more people here to be aware that, Wreaths Across America will be taking place Saturday at 11 o'clock at the McCracken Cemetery. With Nicole's help and Jeannie's help, we've pretty much accomplished almost getting everybody covered with little to no support from inside the town, but from outside of the neighborhood. So, but again, going forward on that note, I just got a notification December 14th through January 17th is we could buy one and get one free. So if we can get, maybe we can panhandle the day of the wreaths and just let people know if they just buy one, we can build that bank for next year. So just wanted to let everybody know, and it'd be nice to have the commissioners or whatever attend the ceremony. And Joe, you're still gonna lay a wreath, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Brian, would you like
So-
to lay a wreath?
I certainly can.
Okay.
Is that the 14th?
Yep, Saturday, 11 o'clock.
Okay.
Bells on your toes, nickels in your nose. Norma?
Sure.
Okay. So that would be nice, and I think we're on spot, and then I think tomorrow we're getting chairs. We're gonna try to get chairs up there for older people that may have issues, and then we're only doing one ceremony this year. And after we're done with that, we'll go to St. Mary's and Ramsey, and that'll be it for this year.
Make it all inclusive.
Well, it's
The ceremony. all
yeah, just one. I didn't realize that last year, by doing two, so that was above and beyond.
Yeah,
But-
it was nice.
Yeah, and hopefully we're gonna have just as nice a weather, but we just want to keep building this, make this stronger every year. That we build a bank, that we don't have to worry about it and hustling to make sure that we get all the veterans covered. That's all I have to say. Be there, please.
All right. Thank you, Diana. We will. That's a good program. Thank you for keeping it going.
Trying. Nicole's helping. Jeannie's helping.
Yeah, and if they're gonna be around on the 11th, they're bringing those 219 wreaths down in front of the library, so she'll be working, so I could use some help.
Well, we don't know what time yet, so.
Yeah.
But I'll have my truck down there to put them in.
It's what they say.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
But we'll play it, as soon as I hear, then we'll upgrade it to whoever.
Okay. All right. Next on the agenda is the election certification. We got our official note from the Rush County Clerk certifying the election that we had for City Commissioner, and which was won by Austin McGackey. Questions, comments? Next on the list is the consent agenda, where we approve the November minutes and pay some bills.
I got a few.
So everybody's had the opportunity to go over that.
Yep.
Yes.
Did it look okay?
Yep.
To everybody? Well, would somebody like to make a motion to pay those bills and approve the minutes?
I'll motion that we pay the bills and approve the minutes and pass the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So the ayes have it. We'll approve the minutes, pay the bills. Commissioner reports. Joe, you're up.
I don't think I have any.
Norma, you're up.
Okay, I don't really have per se anything, but this is my farewell. So, I just thought I would, kind of write out something and give, I guess, the farewell, the last, report. First, I'd like to thank all that I truly have worked with through the years, and 3.5 years doing this, and I have learned a great deal in learning and working and doing and being with each of you. I have learned more about law than I've ever learned in school. I have learned more about how government truly works and why it's so slow. And yet some things very much needed to take that time, and some things I, like everybody else, I wish it'd go a lot faster. It has been a great learning experience. I think everyone that is willing to have an opinion ought to be willing to run for an office. It's one of those things that it is great to have the public's opinions and input. It really truly is. I know sometimes we didn't always like what was brought to us, but it is good to have the public know where they stand and what they would like to see done. It makes it a little easier to maybe put those things into motion and work at them. It doesn't always mean that we get what we want. There's a lot of things that has been brought up through the whole time period that I agreed 100% with the public, but knew legally that wasn't going to work after much digging in. We have so many resources out here to find this information now. And one of the resources that I had to depend greatly on was the League and then the state statutes. And I'll tell you, there is a lot to learn there. And there's a lot of gray areas that we have to dig in and work together. I will be very truthful. I a long time ago was against it, but I have come to learn that it is kind of an important thing, and I think it should probably change. And that is, I think we need 5 commissioners. That's just food for thought down the road as we look at that, or as you guys look at that. It gives opportunity for commissioners to be able to actually talk to one another and to work together. And sometimes, just like when things happened with the water, it would have been nice to have been able to been together and worked on it, but we had kind of have to stay in our little corners this way. And it does put a lot of obstacles there that I see today would be much better and easier if we could do that, so we could work physically as well as being able to just talk together on different things in the city. It has truly been a privilege and an honor to serve the people. And when I look at this, I don't ever look at it that we are the bosses that sit up here, that we absolutely are the servants that work for the people. A quote that I came across, and it was kind of neat that day that I was putting this together, and I actually came across this. It was, servant leadership is all about making the goals clear, and when rolling your sleeves up and doing whatever it takes to help people win. In that situation, they don't work for you, you work for them. And that's by Ken Bretchard. It has been a great learning experience, and it has been, I will always be supportive to you guys setting up here. And there is times that we've disagreed, and that's not a bad thing. When people see that we don't agree on something, doesn't make something bad, but it does make us open to look at ideas from different angles. And that's what I hope that in my learning that I've learned to be better at also. I've had many crazy experiences up here. And the one when I was kind of left as the sole survivor on the ship, and it was one of those things. It was a great learning experience, and I am so thankful for Nicole. I am so thankful for Shane. I am thankful that Amanda was willing to come on at that period of time and step up to the plate. We've all really learned to, I think, work together well, and I thank Bill Greenway for seeing me through when the water was set there in my lap. And I'll tell you what, I learned a whole lot. I thought I knew a lot about plumbing, but boy, did I learn a whole lot more real quick. So it has been many, many experiences that I guess, can write in my memoirs. But it was a great time. And I had kind of shared with you guys that maybe putting a junior person on, I thought that was kind of a neat, not because it's my idea, but because I kind of robbed that from other things. But maybe bringing a junior member on and maybe doing some kind of instilling in these younger kids that what we're doing up here and how it works. And I know I've kind of talked to my grandsons on the sideline, and when they've said, well, I think we should do this or that, and I'm like, well, let me tell you why that happened. So it is, we are a third-class city. So if you're ever looking for state statures and stuff, always go to the third-class city, because that's what applies to us. I learned real quickly that there's a lot of things that is under 14-such, they don't apply to us. 15-such and such does. So it's been great working and doing. And I have, just because I'm off the commission, if you guys ever need anything or there's a question of maybe what my part that I was in, don't hesitate to ask. I mean, I'm always willing to, of course, talk. But it has been a great learning experience, and I really appreciate everyone and their input. I've got many, many calls through the years, of how things should be done, and I appreciated them, and I've told them thank you. Sometimes we didn't see eye to eye either, but it taught us all apart. I'm seeing things that, I came out of the old school group that, what group kind of did the park as you guys was down there. I can tell you the group that met every year and done that. And then I can tell you when it was kind of a sole survivor going out and doing it, and then seeing you guys come in. And I want to tell you thank you, thank you, thank you. That really is appreciated. And never have I looked at anything that somebody has done or helped a neighbor out. I think it's absolutely wonderful that we do that. Don't forget to help your neighbor. And that's it.
Thanks, Norma.
Yeah, thank you, Norma. That kind of runs right into the mayor's report. That's the thing I wanted to hit on. Thank you for your service. It's sometimes easy to, I call it the Bob Euchre section, when you're sitting all the way and barking from the stands, but being willing to put your name on a ballot and do the work of the people is something that should not go unnoticed. So thank you for your service.
I'll tell you the one thing I enjoyed the very most, and it probably sounds funny to some people, but when I had to go read the water meters, that was more fun than anything, because people will actually just come out and talk to you and say, hey, what you doing? And stuff. And I've learned a lot of little stories from people reading those meters.
I bet you did.
This will be the last meeting we have before Christmas, so Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yes.
Merry Christmas, McCracken. I've noticed, and I've been approached a couple of times, we don't have stoplights in this town. We don't have blinking lights in this town. We do have stop signs. And I would just remind everybody to pay attention to the
And there's
traffic
cameras
laws
everywhere
and the
now.
sign. There's been a lot of near misses recently. People getting in a hurry, running stop signs because there's usually not anybody coming. But we sure don't want to have accidents. So that's my public service announcement. Please pay attention to the street signs. And look, don't just assume that there's nobody coming. City clerk.
I'm kind of piggybacking off of what Norma said about the junior member. When we were doing the park this last weekend, we did have a couple of kids show up, and I think that we should have, maybe just like a gift certificate to go see a movie or something for when that happens, available to give to them when they do something like that, because I want to encourage things like that to keep on happening with our younger kids, because we're going to need them to do things like decorating the park.
Some of the
and, you know.
heavy, some of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, and they did really well when they were out there. I was impressed, and I just thought maybe if I could use like $100 to go just buy some to the movies, or maybe to like get a slushie or whatever at the convenience store, just something like that, just to be able to offer them. I made cookies this time because that's all that I really know how to do,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I just think it's something to think about.
And
to
all
encourage
those
it.
kids go to the Love Casey's.
Right. Right. And I mean, it would be a little amount of money to really maybe encourage some more of that community service.
I'd be okay with that.
I would too.
Great
Okay.
idea.
And then I think that's it. The park isn't all lit up yet because the cord was not safe. So the alumni went ahead and ordered three like extension cords with multiple outlets on them. And that should be here the 12th, and then we'll get the park all actually lit up. So all the stuff's out there, it's just not visible at night right now. But Shane and I did pull everything out of that building, and he blew it out with the blower and put it all back in and got rid of all this stuff that was trash. And that's what we did this weekend. It was a very, very, very active weekend.
Yes, a big thank you to everybody who came.
Yeah.
Thought it was gonna be a long day.
I thought it was going to be us only, and I was so thankful for Carrie and Lane Morgan and Bruce Davis and Lori and, what's her boyfriend's name? Oh,
I can't think of it
Roy?
either.
no, that's not even close.
Lori
Sorry,
who?
Troy.
Lori Brax. Her boyfriend, I can't remember his name. They were there to help, and then your grandson and his girlfriend, I cannot remember her
Maddie.
name. What?
Maddie.
No.
My grandma.
Marley.
I just met her. I
Miley.
just met her
Okay.
last week, so I'm kind of at a loss.
It's
on
Miley.
With
Miley,
yes.
Miley, that's it.
And yeah, they're my neighbors, so I got to meet her, and she just lives kind of corner from me. But yes, when I saw them start to pull up, I was so relieved because we had already pulled all that stuff out of there, and I knew that it was just us, and we were gonna have to put it all back in. But no, they were really big help. So that's all I got.
Still took-
Oh yeah, and the water billing issue's fixed.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, I don't want to say it's 100% because I just don't want to jinx it. But as far as I know, it's all figured out, and yay.
What was the issue?
The softwares wouldn't talk to each other.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that's why when we got the G-Works, I wanted it all, like the billing, everything, because I knew it was all inclusive with that software. Well, then when we introduced a different company, they just didn't want to talk to each other, and so they do now. They do now. There's been a lot of tears and a lot of foul language, and
Did the tech support from one of those companies mesh them together, or what happened?
they used me as a middleman.
As a guinea pig, right?
I think it was I talked to another city, and I think that they did that. I think that they released their brand new software on us because it would be easier to
On a
find out the
small city.
mistakes on our.
You were a beta
Scale.
tester?
Yes, and I think that they did that to us and
Really?
didn't tell us.
Well, you have
Because,
to pay for it now.
well, listen, I mean, you were at our last meeting, we got a bill from them and it didn't change the amount, like for our software, it stayed the same. And they locked it in for another year. I thought, well, that's weird.
They are
Well,
paying for it.
right after we had our meeting, all the city clerks started talking about they got their bill from G-Works, theirs all went up triple the amount. And I'm like, well, why didn't ours? Because we are the guinea pigs.
Oh.
And that's how they're, I mean, but all they had to do was say something, and they could have just told me that, so I didn't think that the universe was actually trying to punish me for something. But yeah, so I think that it's just easier for them to find the glitches in the software with us, and so we're happy to help.
Cool, okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Also
but
piggyback on that too, is that thank you guys and Jeannie for us all walking out there and getting all the graves marked.
Yes, we did get all those marked,
Yesterday.
yes. Yesterday, yeah, it was a very, very full, eventful weekend for us.
Appreciate it.
And I'm thankful for the weather. The weather was
It was
beautiful,
nice.
so.
All right. Shane?
I don't have much. Nicole and I have training for disaster relief funding from 2023. That's available for our whole region. You can use that on any kind of city improvements. Then I got a couple webinars this next month and another workshop in February for disinfection. I do have all the meters in.
Yeah, oh yeah, they are on installed. I was gonna say
Alright.
that too.
That's a big deal.
That is. Thanks for getting that done, Shane.
And that's about all I got.
Okay. Old business. We've been working, we've already approved this change, but we had to put, a new ordinance together for a change we've made in the, cost of waterworks in McCracken. So if everybody remembers, we raised the base fee for residential from $22 to $25 a month, and we raised the commercial that same percentage up to $30 a month. We left the usage beyond the next 1,000 virtually the same, but we did go up just a little bit on water for the reasons we've discussed in the past. So we have this new ordinance 2025-1 that we will guess we need to approve and vote.
Well, I would make a motion that we approve it. That'd be ordinance 2025-01, City of McCracken, to establish regulations for the provision of water utility services.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Water ordinance 2025-01 passed. Next issue of old business, we have a Lane Scott franchise agreement that we looked over last month. The old agreement was covered a pretty big period of time, and so we're trying to pick through and fine tune it a little bit. Being the end of the year, the attorney that we use, he's pretty busy trying to finish up some year-end stuff. We don't have to have this agreement finalized until sometime in March. Yeah, so we've got a little bit of time on it. We were going to talk about this if we had the feedback from Chris, our attorney, but he asked if we could push it off, and we've got plenty of time. But just kind of the highlights on that, we need to fine tune the timing. I think Norma brought up that we don't need to have these long franchise agreements. It just needs, we're going to narrow it down in time.
I think as I looked at it, like we should review it every 3 years and set it for every 5, which could be changed, not necessarily has to be changed, but could be changed. I think that was instead of 5 years, maybe 20 years.
Right.
That made a long
Yeah, that
time
was-
to
that was
hold
too-
into. To me,
Joe, the franchise agreements in your folder from the, okay,
I saw it.
okay.
but I do think it does need to be reviewed a little more often than
Yeah.
5 years too.
Well, we'll let Chris chew on it a little bit, and he'll kind of give us a little
Yep.
guidance on it as well. But the last part of our old business is we still need to hire a code enforcer. And we really haven't talked much about which direction to go with that. I think everybody might do some thinking about a candidate. As you come up with names, we'll probably just need to get together and discuss them. But it is a position that we need to get filled.
Agreed.
Here at the end of the year, again, is probably not the perfect time to get that accomplished, but as we turn the calendar over, we probably need to get
So
pretty.
just table it?
Yeah, we just need to keep, we need to talk about this, maybe at a special meeting or maybe at a work session, but
I'll keep it on the agenda until,
let's keep it on the agenda. I want to try to get this nailed down first part of the year. New business. We had a deal come up on cemetery fees, which just kind of opened up a whole discussion at the cemetery. That cemetery's been there a long time, and it's filling up. In that discussion, there are a lot of unused plots that, for whatever reason, people have passed on, and we're not sure if there's descendants, and in some cases, we know there aren't any descendants. So, knowing that we're eventually going to fill that cemetery up with with the few remaining, for sale plots, we probably need to kind of visit with potentially people that will not utilize the plots that they might have within
Yeah.
a
I thought there was a part of the property that was designated for expansion.
there is, but it's not next to that, and that's what we use for the farm ground to pay for the cemetery
It's
every
not
year.
adjacent to it?
It's not. It's quite a way away. And like I said, that's what we use, that farm ground, we have somebody farms it and we get the money from that, and that's what we pay for the cemetery with it, but it's not, what did you call it? It's not,
Adjacent. I thought
Yeah.
it was right up against it.
no, it's not. It's a whole,
Who,
what is it called?
Section.
A section away.
maybe we can move it.
Well, I don't think we would have to if we would be able to
Trade?
the exchange just looked up the statutes, and they changed in 2021 to where nobody's been interred in
Internment.
a
If you
lot.
haven't used the ground in 50 years.
You can, those will be like available again. Because I know that they've been real touchy in the past about things like that.
You mean the ones that have already been
They've been
purchased?
purchased, but there's only one person buried in there, and there's 8 plots in a lot.
Because they
Those
bought
kind
for a
of-
family and
50
then the
years is
family
up.
moved
Yeah.
away or.
And so we've got a lot of those empty spots, because we
Statute
are
of
running out of room.
limitations.
I mean, we don't have a lot of people, but you never know, and it is getting to that point to where the
So we
real
just
estate's
need to
getting
look
really.
back and see if those dates.
Yeah, I can make a
like
list of
dates.
all the ones that are open, especially like in, lot 1 is our oldest, the
Right,
oldest
that's the
section.
old-
That would probably be the best place to start, the ones that are still open there, because there are quite a few open.
That was my next question, is do
Yeah.
you know about how many of those are?
There's quite a few in that first lot, yeah, that would be the best,
Yeah, that would
the
be
best way to
place
go. I know
start.
lot 3 is full, and that's actually really full. Lot 2 is about halfway full, but they're the they're the more recent ones to where they're sold, but they're still living.
Maybe
But
we
that lot one is the one that's,
Maybe we should map the whole thing and put it back on the agenda once a year or something like that. And, you know, if we can appropriate some of those for next year, and then a year or 2 years later, we put it back on the agenda again and look the map over again.
mhm.
But if we had all this plotted on a map, we'd at least have that information
And
ready to
we,
go.
and I kind of do, I've been working
The plat map that they have
is,
I don't
it's crazy.
understand.
The way they numbered them it doesn't really make sense
Yeah,
and,
I've heard there's confusion on that. Or there
and you
has
know,
been
so
for-
I looked online and there is a way you can like, you take rope and you make it to where, cause I said it would be nice if I could close my eyes and it'd just be a grid and I could see a grid, you know, on the cemetery. It would just make it so much easier.
Yeah, but we gotta
Well-
work around with
Well, you can do that though. They say you can make those, you know, with string. You can to where it would be a grid situation, and then you just photograph every single square that you come into and document it. And then,
I guarantee you they
That-
won't all be squares.
well, yeah, I mean, you have to
But we
document
can- we
every
can-
single what every single square looks like, whatever. Because there are a lot of ones that weren't put right in the right place, like a lot of them.
But we could change the grid and change it and make our own map. And
I think
update
that, yes, and
too.
I did download a program to do that, because, you know, with Excel, you work with Excel to do it. But I do think the numbers they're totally weird, like
They go from
sometimes,
1 to 4
yeah, it
in
just,
one lot.
and sometimes there's not a one, and sometimes there's not a 116, it's just really weird the way they did it.
Sounds like a project.
Yeah, it would be a really extensive, long,
Well, the plat map's from 1898.
yeah.
And I don't think anyone would object to it.
I don't think so either, you know, and I walked that cemetery
Making
so
things easier
much.
is, pretty agreeable to people.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think we should do, one block at a time, actually, and, you know, work on.
Yeah, let's,
Connect
And right
them
now,
together in a
I-
logical way.
I took pictures of all the veterans' graves in block 4, and I'm gonna do that in each of the blocks, but I thought, you know, I'm just gonna work one block at a time, because it's, you know, it is a lot of people. You don't think it would be in your mind, but
Oh, no.
it ends up being a lot. So I got photographs of every single headstone that is a veteran, but I don't have the rest of them, but that's what I probably need to do.
Um,
And yeah, it just take a lot of work, but I think that it can be done.
Maybe a small committee or a small group could be formed to do that over the next
And, you know, then we
couple
could
of
document
years.
the ones that are damaged and what the damage is on them, and a lot of them are
I
buried
have
in the
started.
ground, like all you can see is like the top of the,
Yeah.
you know, like get that, and we did, Shane picked one up that was knocked over. I know it was recent because I've been out there a
Yeah,
lot.
you could go out there and do some dirt work.
But yeah, they used to set those and they didn't set a base underneath of them, and now that even when they do have a base, they just don't.
Well, over the years,
bases
are
it's
moving
just
now.
ground moves.
And with the water, and water gets underneath them and it just moves them, yeah. And
There's some of those bases that are like they're a concrete column, and they go 4 feet deep.
And you just
They're
never
moving.
know what's underneath that, you know? And
It would
what's
be
weird,
nice to have a folder on your computer
That's-
and start building a database.
That's exactly
for
what
the
I'm doing.
cemetery and
That's exactly
modernize
what
that
I'm
whole
doing.
thing.
and when we just had somebody buried there that they said that their dad built a software program for our cemetery. It's an IBM program, but he would send it to me, but he never did. But that just got me researching a little bit more. And I didn't know that you had fixed like Arlene Gilbert's, I didn't know that you had done that.
I fixed 2 of them up there.
Because we bought like, what's it called, a winch thing so we wouldn't have to like do it physically, because they're so heavy. We got that stuff already. And anticipating, you know, doing that, but I don't want to mess anything up either. I don't want to break anything. I don't want to break my body either.
I'd be willing to do some more work on those.
I mean,
I would get a portable gantry and just slide it over and
That's not what you got. What'd you get?
hoist it up.
I don't know what we got. What did we?
We got the hoist.
Okay, we got the hoist.
Straps.
Like a chain hoist?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just need a gantry. And we could build it out of wood if
Yeah,
we
'cause
did
I-
something with.
Right, I've watched a
something
lot
solid.
of videos on it, and I love to
You
work
know,
in the
I
cemetery.
I know
so-
that ransom, that's a nice little steel one. We could just slide
Yeah,
right over the grave.
A gantry engine hoist.
And they have all that
Yeah, I
stuff you
know
can
that.
buy.
Like a cherry picker?
Yeah.
That's what that one
Like
guy
an engine
uses, I
puller.
think.
I mean,
No, not a cherry picker, but a gantry.
Yeah.
It's like a tripod-like thing, and he
Oh, it's like like a swing set. It's got an A-frame on each end.
that's,
with
yes.
a
And this
IV
guy,
in
that
the
he
middle.
does all that cemetery restoration. He goes around to all these cemeteries. He went to Abilene, actually did a class, I guess, for them. And he's got that, and there's a lot of videos, there's a lot of TikToks of him doing that, and
I
it's
think-
so interesting. I watch him a lot.
I
I
know
think
Blue
we can
Cross
get one of
just
those
done
Harbor
one.
Freight.
Right, and I know a lot of the stuff he's made, because I did look into buying one, specifically for that, and yeah, right.
I think
They are
Harbor,
outrageous expensive.
I think Harbor Freight, we could get one pretty affordable.
And I mean, like I said,
If it'll
I know
pull
that
a
Shane and I would be willing,
600-pound engine, it'll lift those stones.
and then they have that epoxy rope, that you can put just to fix a little bit of them. I don't know. All I know is that Shane and I would be willing to help because we're really interested in doing things like that. And I'm
like
worried
doing
about
those
the ones
things.
that
I
are
like
get-
doing that.
Right, I'm worried about the ones that are getting ready. The ones that are falling over, those are falling over. The ones that are getting ready to fall over, the ones that worry me, because they are heavy, and if they
Especially
fell
when
on
she's
somebody, they
been
said
out
that you'd
there.
be surprised at how many accidents that do happen like that. You'd be dead. I mean, I cannot believe how heavy that granite is.
Yeah, they're really heavy.
And there's a couple of them that I don't even know how they're still upright because they're just like that. And those are the ones that worry me. And if we could get those taken care of and picked back up, and then we can worry about the ones that are already broken. And because there are some, I've taken a few pictures when we were there Sunday or Saturday. What day were we there? Sunday.
Sunday.
And there's a few that are broke.
It's difficult, fixing those ones that are slanted or leaning. The good fix or the real fix is to take them off the base
And build them back up.
and take the base out and make a new one.
Yeah, and then put rock and sometimes they even use rebar to put them in there,
Yeah.
it just depends on what ground you're working with.
Yeah, and some of the bases up there, they're the same size as the headstone, and they just go down 4 feet deep. And they should be 4 feet deep on
Right.
top, so that they float instead of,
And I think a lot of the
Instead of being in
families
the
are the
ground
ones that
ones.
installed those back in the day,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
probably why they were installed that way. And you can tell the different styles
I think
through the
there's a lot of
years.
lot of
Mhm.
different stuff up there, but, if we had a gantry like that, and you've got the chain hoist,
Yeah.
it'd make it pretty easy to do.
I think so, and it
Yeah,
needs to
I
be
can.
done, and our cemetery it is a nice cemetery, it really is.
Yeah, go visit a few.
Yeah, 'cause
No, it's very well taken care of. And we get comments about it all the time.
Yeah, you can't believe how I moved a couple of those. I can't even tell you. It's, how the Egyptians built the pyramids?
Exactly.
Kind of like that.
exactly, on homemade, yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Right.
very doable, and especially if you have the right equipment.
And help, just everybody, and I think that it could be done.
Even if we only did 2 a year.
Right.
um,
Just the ones that are just look like they need to be taken care of immediately.
Isn't there a couple of big ones that
Yeah.
are laying down?
Oh yeah, there's one big one that is it's like one of the bigger ones out there, and it's
Nothing
so
over 2
tilted.
ton.
It's so tilted, and it's really concerning.
Yeah, I know that we've talked about.
And then with the drought makes it even worse with those big headstones,
Actually, it's worse
Well,
on it
the-
than rain.
The
Right.
ground dries and shrinks, and then it gets wet and expands, and every time it does that, it moves a little, and it's not gonna stop doing that, so maintenance up there is gonna be a key factor to keep it nice.
I do know why some cemeteries make it the rule you can only have the flat headstones now. I mean, I never really understood that, but I do now
Oh,
because
yeah.
And that's not a bad rule.
it's not, because
We oughta-
then you
we
can
oughta
mow
think
over
about
it
that.
easier, and a lot of things are easier when they are just flat.
So we need to start with the gantry.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got that.
and
list.
and we don't need to do
Straps.
that, we don't need to do that till spring, because we're not gonna get out there.
Yeah,
Well,
Well, I'd like
you
to
know,
have
we
a
could,
ground
we
till
could
spring.
stand up those ones that are laid over.
I'd like to have everything ready for the beginning of spring to start immediately,
You
you
start with
know?
a gantry and
As soon as the weather breaks up.
some lifting straps.
Okay,
be
you
able
should
to
know what
I need,
you're
start-
I
talking
need to
about,
call,
right?
Yeah,
You should be
make a
able to
list.
pretty
Skills
much start
back to
working
get
on
more
it
rock.
by
'Cause
Oh,
I
yeah,
have
that's
some
another
rock at
thing.
the cemetery and
We need to
said
re-rock
you
those
get on
roads, the road around the cemetery, just that dirt and the one that,
Yeah, that's
Trick,
a
you know,
mess.
it
Well,
needs to
we
be
rock for
re-rocked bad. And then there's a lot, I want to, those bushes that go along the middle part, I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, they just collect trash, I want to get rid of those, they're worthless, you know? They really do only collect tumbleweeds, trash, and corn husks.
Maybe,
I mean, I'm not talking about the trees that are around it, those
No,
are
I know
fine,
what
I'm
you're
talking about those
Those
stupid
row of
bushes.
bushes, yeah,
maybe there's someplace
in the
else
drive,
we wanna put
by
them.
the drive.
I
Remove 'em.
don't even think that they're alive anymore, they're just,
Oh, if they're dead,
Yeah.
cut them down.
I mean, they're just those little bushes and they're just horrible and a lot of the trees need worked on, like trimmed back and.
they're not that bad.
They-
She's exaggerating.
I don't think I am.
Okay, good.
But I think that, yeah, there's a big hole like developing right by the entrance and that needs to be filled in because that's where everybody drives when they pull in and I think that if we all work together, it wouldn't take much at all to get all that stuff.
I'll see you out there.
Yeah, and I will be out there because I gotta tell everybody what to do.
So who wants to go shopping for the gantry?
I will.
You gonna take Shane with you?
I will, yes.
I would check Harbor Freight first.
Yeah, that's where yeah, because they're pretty reasonable, I think.
And then Shane, you're gonna ask
Rob's
Rod if
got
he can bring a load or.
Yeah, I asked him last time you brought that load.
Sure.
He said he'd get on it, but
He's pretty slow
Yeah,
sometimes.
You know, but it was I think the price was really reasonable,
I think
for,
I
you
got
know.
real reasonable, yeah.
Yeah,
He treats us pretty good.
we use it quite a bit, so.
I stopped him from taking down our electric line there at the shed. So he may give us a discount, I don't know.
He
But
probably
yeah,
thought you saved him a lot of money there.
He had that bed halfway up, I was
That's
like,
right.
whoa.
Oh, then tomorrow, we were talking about getting the chairs,
yeah,
if anybody can help.
it shouldn't take much.
At least a dozen up there, give
Yeah.
or take.
I'm just gonna take some of those metal folding chairs we have back here up there just for the older people to
I
sit
have
on.
125 folding chairs if you want any.
I have 125 from here too. You'll have to fight me to get rid of them.
No problem.
Whoever gets there
told-
first.
I told Rebecca I wanted to get rid of a bunch of them, and she's like, no, don't. And I'm like, why? And she says, what if your whole family shows up at the same time?
Oh, yeah, you got a big family.
That's gonna be the last thing you're gonna be worried about.
I'll get
Then
the
I'll just say
holiday,
we can move down to the city building. All right,
Oh, the city park. Okay, I got this. And since I was just out there doing the Christmas decorating, it was weird that this all happened at the same time. This is a company out of Concordia, Kansas. They do the recycled tires for, like, underneath this right here. This is what they do. Like
playground
that
safety.
surface stuff. Well, there just happens to be a grant right now that they sent us all the information to get this grant. To pay, they pay 50%, but we have money, we have a grant in Great Bend right now for $5,000 or $6,000 that's sitting there waiting for us to use it for playground only. That's the only thing we can use it for. And there's also money in would have been the beautification account that is earmarked for parks only, like that can only be used for parks. So I figured we could use that to match it because looking at our playgrounds, I went over it with Carrie Morgan and, you know, she said alumni is always willing to help, but I think that we could get that because we've got a lot of the sandblasting medium underneath the water tower from when they did that. And we could rent a sandblaster and sandblast it, like the swing set needs to be repainted, and she said the alumni would be willing to get the paint and, you know, paint that. And I went through all the equipment and
so you played on all the equipment?
I did, yes. And there's some of it that's really
She's scared of the old
questionable.
stuff.
I'm scared of the old stuff, but it's still standing, so. But like the swings underneath of them, they're so dug out from people's feet, you know, going, and there is a broken swing out there too that just I don't know how, this chain just broke in half. And it's right next to the one that you had replaced.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's broken out there.
Oh, I hadn't noticed that one.
What else was, oh yeah, and the gazebo out there, holy smokes, you guys.
Yeah.
It's really, when you start looking at it, I noticed there was a bracket on the ground that wasn't attached to anything. I'm like, what that used to be attached to? Well, it used to be attached to the gazebo, but the gazebo's moved that much that it's like, ugh, I don't know. It needs to be looked at. It needs to be looked at by somebody at a higher pay grade than me.
It
but
might be getting close to the end of its
You
life.
should see it. It's like, I mean, Shane said that we shouldn't have to worry about it in our lifetime, but it's really something, because I mean, it's something that needs to be paid attention to.
Okay.
But I think that we should get the estimate on this stuff and
Okay.
see what we can do.
Yeah, see what they,
And it's a local company, and that, you know, and it's a
Do
recycled.
they collect tires too?
Yeah. Mhm.
So
Yes.
maybe we
When
could,
Shane used to work for the tire place over by Bazine, he said that he would see their trucks, and their trucks were immaculate. Like, they were brand new, they were nice. It's a nice company. He said, you know, well, he said,
oh,
I
I've
can
had
tell you.
several people ask if there was someplace they could get rid of their tires, so.
It's hard to get rid of tires.
Yeah,
I know.
and they recycle them all. Well, then at the library, we got that picnic table out front. We just got it. It was $1,000. These picnic tables are the same. I mean, they're way nicer than what we got. 420 pounds. The one we got's not 420 pounds at the library. That's with freight.
Wow.
That price is amazing compared to what we paid, and I don't think that we will need it. We could get a picnic table out there, but if they have this grant that's,
Yeah.
you know, why not?
yeah.
Why not try? And it's non-competitive, so they say, you know, you're gonna get it if you apply for it.
Let's get it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
So,
Make
yeah,
it
I
a little
think
bit
that,
nicer.
Most
Right.
definitely.
and you know, we've got to start preserving, because there are a lot of more, you know, kids moving in town that I don't even recognize. I just see a lot more of them, and if they don't have the pool, then we need to do something, you know, keep
Right.
something here for them to do. And I think we could really make the park a lot better, a lot safer, and especially with the alumni's help, then
Yeah,
You
we
know,
should get all that.
utilize it.
There's, we need to do some tree work in the park.
Very badly, very,
Very
very
bad.
badly. We did have a friend that took some of the trees down because he wanted the firewood, and that was fine with me, but there's so many more that need to come down.
Yeah, there's a lot of firewood right there too. That pine's good stuff. I think there's three or four dead pines standing there. They're big too.
Yeah, and I mean, then we've got that whole section in the back there that's empty, completely empty, that we could do something with eventually, and I just think that we could really make it something nice. At least update it a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll
Not
update.
just
I
for
can make a
kids
call
either.
on that.
Yeah. The park is for all ages.
Right, and you know, I always see people in the park when it's nice, there's
Yeah.
usually at least 2 people there all the time. So it is something that isn't just not getting utilized, that people do use it a lot.
Yeah, I would say it'd be worth the time spent getting the grant.
And it's really easy to get these grants because people want
Okay,
to give money to do things like this, so.
okay.
All right, I will get an estimate on that and apply for it.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Nicole. Any other new business?
Nope, that's it, that's all I have.
All right, that gets us to the end.
All right.
We have a motion to,
I'll make a
Adjourn.
motion that we adjourn the meeting.
I will second motion.
we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay,
Thanks,
Steve.
everybody.
We'll